Alright, Shalom, first and foremost, as always, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rachak Kodesh. I want to give double honors to my apostles at Great Millstone who taught me His truth, and it's who Shalom to elect out there teach His truth in all honesty and sincerity in His last days. Okay? And there's been a lot of news going on about a possible Black Swan event on the horizon. Now, this could be a big event, or it could be a small event, or it could be a mid-sized event. We'll have to see. But we know that this economic system is pretty much just made up, okay? And one of the ways that these elites keep this debt train rolling is they always create new instruments to issue more debt into the system. Okay? Because the scriptures say that the borrower is servant to the lender. Okay? So when you look up the national debt, all right, the elites love to inflate that number because it's you, the public, that holds that debt. You are the borrower, okay? And these elites, they're borrowing all this money, right, for all these projects, you know, whether it be military, infrastructure, AI, whatever. Okay, they borrow all this money, okay, to build this new world order system, and they leave you on the hook with it. Okay? So I put into this into ChatGPT because I was seeing that there was some volatility in the bond markets because of this, and I knew that this was coming. Okay, you know, us brothers that have been following this shit for years, you know, we seen things like this popping up years ago. Okay, this yen carry trade that rears its ugly head every once in a while. No, I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you. I'm going to let chat explain it to you. Okay, and then elaborate on it, man, because the house of cards is getting ready to fall. All right, the house of cards is getting ready to fall, and this devil is coming down showing great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, man. So he's moving fast with everything. Okay, he's accelerating his agenda. Alright? He knows that he only has a little more time to operate under this old system before it completely falls apart. But I put explain the yen carry trade and why it's such a big bubble. And I said keep it simple and short because you all know Chad will go on and on and on. Okay? Because this is a big issue in the investment community right now. The yen carry trade is basically this. Investors borrowed Japanese yen cheaply because Japan has had very low interest rates. Now this has been going on for some decades. Okay, so keep this in mind as I read this. And then brainstorm it, okay? They were basically using this yen carry trade to finance the U.S. national debt. So they were basically financing debt with low interest or zero interest debt. Okay? So they were borrowing cheap debt to borrow more expensive debt. Okay? Oh, man. Investors borrow Japanese yen cheaply because Japan is at very low interest rates. Then convert that yen into dollars or other currency, primarily dollars, and buy higher return assets like U.S. stocks, bonds, crypto, etc. So think about this now that the Dow is at 50,000, right? Example, borrow at roughly 1%, invest somewhere, earning 5%, plus pocket the difference, right? It makes sense, right? It's pretty much a no-brainer if you could do it. The bubble problem is that huge amounts of money compile into the same trade. Asset prices rise partly because all that cheap borrowed money is chasing them. Cheap borrowed money. That seems like something that you hear a lot. Cheap borrowed money. Okay? Then if Japanese interest rates rise or the yen suddenly strengthens, the trade becomes less profitable. Okay? Because you want them cheaper, you want them nice cheap yen. Investors rush to sell their stocks, bonds, crypto, convert back into yen, and repay their loans. So the danger is basically cheap yen, which leads to massive borrowing. Okay? Massive borrowing. Which just is a big problem in this system, man. They're pretty much running out of money to borrow. Okay? They're running out of ways to borrow more and more debt. Alright? And then after the massive borrowing, asset prices are inflated. Think about the price of everything, man. Everything's going up. Stocks, bonds, gold, silver, right? Commodities. Everything's inflated right now. Okay? So they could basically create inflation just by creating massive borrowing. Think about that. The yen reverses and then everybody unwinds at once and markets dump. So this could be a crisis. This could be a crisis on the horizon, man. Okay? Because the amount of money that's been revolving into this, in and out of this yen carry trade is literally in the trillions of dollars, man. Okay? This economy is not strong enough to handle, okay? To handle that kind of dump. Right? To handle that kind of shock, I should say. That's what they call it, shock. Okay? It's less a single bubble than a giant source of leverage underneath multiple markets. Okay? So this isn't just a single bubble. This is going to affect a lot of different markets. Okay? Because this is bad money. This cheap money is everywhere. Okay, it's not just a particular stock or asset. And I said, why is this hitting the dollar so hard? All right, because Treasury Secretary Besant is trying to buy back some of that longer term debt. Okay, they announced, the Fed announced but they're going to buy back double the amount issued. Okay? So they're pretty much buying back debt because they know that this is going to hit hard. Alright? Why is this hitting the dollar so hard? Because unwinding the yen carry trade can mean selling dollar-denominated assets and ultimately reducing demand for dollars. A lot of the trade looks roughly like borrow yen, right? And then with that yen, you buy dollars. And then with those dollars, you buy U.S. Treasuries and stocks. You see the cycle? Do you see the cycle? And this has been going on for well over 30 years now. Okay? And then it says when traders reverse it, it says sell U.S. assets. Okay, so you sell your assets, your stocks, your bonds, whatever, and then you exit your dollar positions, and then you take the money that you earn, you buy yen, and you pay your loans that are in yen, right? But if the yen is strengthening, you can't buy as much yen with your profits, right? You see the inverse right there? That puts downward pressure on the dollar and upward pressure on the yen. So those dollars cannot buy as much yen. Okay? Whereas before, that cheap yen couldn't buy as many dollars. But it didn't matter because the debt was cheap. Okay? There's an extra issue right now. Japan is a massive holder of U.S. treasuries. If Japanese money starts coming home because Japanese yields become more attractive, that can mean less demand for treasuries, higher U.S. yields, and more financial market stress. Okay? This is going to take a big hit on the dollar, man. Not just the dollar, but the appetite for dollars. Okay? Because it's always been easy for the U.S. They've always just issued debt and issued debt and issued debt. Issued more treasuries, more bonds. Right? They've just been issuing it and issuing it. But now they're getting to the point where the demand isn't there. The market can't soak up any more U.S. debt, man. It says one important distinction, though. The yen carry trade isn't the only thing hurting the dollar. As of August 23rd, markets are also dealing with concerns about U.S. debt, policy uncertainty, and the direction of Fed rates. So think of the carry trade as an accelerant. If trillions of leverage positions start moving the opposite direction, what would normally be a gradual currency move can become violent very quickly. And that's what we like to hear. Okay? That's what we like to hear, man. We like to hear. It's like I was reading Genesis earlier. We like to hear that, man. Okay? The scriptures say that an unjust balance or an unjust weight is an abomination to the Lord. I believe that's in 11. Yeah, we'll read this and then we'll search for something. Proverbs 11:1, a false balance is abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. And I mean, just look at what I just read, man. That's unjust. That's a false balance right there, man. Okay? And once the system rebalances itself, because economies always pretty much rebalance themselves, they always got a little bit of fakeness, and they always got a little balance that comes in. All right? Once the balance starts to show back up, okay, it's not going to be good for America or their allies, man. Okay? Or even some of their enemies, man, because a lot of America's enemies actually own treasuries. You know? There's going to be no... When the dollar faces a serious catastrophe, okay? When it faces a serious catastrophe, it's going to affect the whole world. Not just America and its allies. All right? Bear with me. Proverbs 20:10, diverse weights and diverse measures. Both of them are alike abomination to the Lord. Okay? Now let me get this in Habakkuk, man, because this is pretty much the Esau's empire winding down. Habakkuk 2 and 5. Yea, also, because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Okay? And America is not kept at home. Alright? It's not kept at home. It's a hegemonic power, and it's spread its dollar dominance, its military, whatever. Okay? Its influence is all over the world. It needs to expand and stay hegemonic in order to stay afloat, right? And that even means getting other nations involved on their financial scams, man. By creating all these wicked instruments and scams and cheats, man. Okay? So you got all these investors that make all this money basically scamming people, but the regular person is left paying for everything, man. Paying for the price increases, you know? Struggling. Alright? Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Shall not all these take up a parable against him, and a taunting proverb against him, and say, Woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that ladeth himself with thick clay. And all this is not his, man. You know, Esau Edom is the best. He's the best at all time. Of all time. Okay? He is the best of all time at creating, what was I going to say? Basically creating a fake society, man, a fake monetary system. Okay? He's increasing that which is not his, man. Creating all these instruments in order to create more fake wealth. And to put you, the regular person, on the hook for it. Okay, now when you get it into that term, thick clay, okay, actually let me read this in the NLT. Habakkuk 2 and 6. But soon their captives will taunt them, they will mock them, saying, What sorrow awaits you thieves? Now you will get what you deserve. You've become rich by extortion. And that's basically what this yen carry trade is. It's basically just extortion, so that some rich people who know the loopholes can make money on some stocks. Okay, like we saw that, you know, they borrow the yen at 1%. Okay, and then they buy U.S. denominated assets, right? Dollar denominated assets. And then they sell out and take their few percentage point gain, right? And it says, how much longer can this go on? How much longer can this debt and heavy pledges go on, man? Because that's what thick clay means. It means weights and pledges, right? Thick debt, man. Thick clay. Okay? How long can this system of inventing financial instruments to kick the can down the road, how much longer can this go on, man? Okay? Because Esau Edom knows once his dollar's done, man, he's got to push that MOTB, and he's got to push it hard. Okay? And we're looking for that one incident, man. That one incident that unravels this whole financial system, man. That unravels it. Okay? Because when this system starts to unravel, they're going to really start pushing that MOTB, man. That C-hit. They're really going to start pushing it, man. Okay? They're letting this system unwind and die out on purpose so that they can move on to the new system, man. Okay? Because nobody in their right mind would let a nation go $40 trillion in debt. I don't care if you're the world power or not. Okay? So these elites, they allowed America to be under that heavy amount of debt just so that they could control it, man. And just so that they could bring it down, keep it at a certain strength level, man. Okay? This is Revelation 13 and 16. He calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Okay? This is going to be the center. This is going to be what commerce is going to be based around. This MOTB, man. This is going to be, the new currency is going to be on these chips. Okay? And he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell. So you can't buy or sell. You can't partake in commerce. And what are most of these elites? They're mostly international bankers. Okay? So money is their religion, man. Okay? They control everything through their money system. They can make it weaker. They can make it stronger. Okay? They can take the burden off a certain industry or person, put it on another. And it's going to be interesting to see this when this yen carry trade, if it does unwind, Lord willing, it does. Fuck. This yen carry trade unwinds. It's going to be interesting to see where all that cheap money went. Okay? It's going to be interesting to see what stocks, because once this yen carry trade starts to unwind, people are going to be able to see where all the money was going, man. Okay? They're going to be able to see what stocks are crashing. Okay? Not because they necessarily had poor financial performance or because the stock itself was weak. Okay? But because of this bullshit money system. Okay? They're about to deflate the fakeness out of these markets once this carry trade falls apart, man. Okay, and it says, and that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. All right, and the number is 666, man. Chi-Xi stigma. Okay. So with that, I'm just telling brothers pretty much to watch this yen carry trade, man. All right, because the U.S. is starting to get involved and buy back some of this bad debt. Okay, so with that, until next time, shalom.